Hello everyone, I'm Renowned Zero. We are back again talking about rip reverse detractors, specifically Vito the Pito, as he has gone extremely off the rails and he has become extremely butthurt over the fact that I said Super Killer is trash, which in my opinion, Super Killer is trash. I read his terrible script live and it was absolutely garbage. Even my audience didn't like it. And again, this is all opinions, but of course his little butt buddy Baxter had to jump in on this because of course the guy that couldn't finish a 500-piece puzzle in under an hour. It took him actually over an hour to finish a 500-piece puzzle in a competition with two people, by the way. It was him and one other individual who were doing this puzzle, putting this puzzle together, could not complete it until over an hour, and he looked like an absolute fool. But it's interesting that his simps, Vito's simps, had to come out and, of course, talk their nonsense because I called this fool out because he claimed I couldn't read his garbage script. And then when I said that I was reading at his 6th grade level in the 4th grade, of course, him as a hater and all these other weirdos decided to be willingly obtuse and, of course, take what I said out of context and claim that I only read at a 6th grade level, which is not what I said. These clowns love to claim that they get this gotcha, and they end up self-owning themselves with their terrible grammar and their terrible arguments because they have no arguments. The only arguments they have are insults. But let's get into this Yaira #1 campaign, which will be fulfilling very soon at $1.386 million, over 10,200 purchasers, over 17,000 books sold. If you want to get in on that, please do get in on this book. It's going to be awesome in my opinion. Written by the Soska sisters, who wrote arguably one of the best Black Widow stories with No Restraints Play. So get in on that. We'll go over here to Vaughn Coleman's book, Phenomenova, issue #1, Lightning Strikes. 68-page comic book written by Vaughn Coleman. He has a huge team on this. There's even an Rini cover. We'll get into all this stuff that's going on with the drama later on today after this video goes live. So get in on this if you want to. Now, of course, we had TenNapel, who basically gave it to, Vito straight about his sales on his trash book, Super Killer. So he says, Vito says, he was thinking of Ethan S. Kyber in the Trash Cast audience, the Trash Cast audience that doesn't buy books. They were at 93K and then reached 117K, where Doug TenNapel says, you did 1/30th of Eric July's raise. That's pretty good for not being a writer or an artist. Also not sure how the comics mainstream industry is going to react to you being a Biden supporter. Be careful. Trump is really popular in the arts, so we will try to provide ideological cover. I'm sure it's really hard out there for another pro-choice, pro-gay marriage, atheist comic book writer. Stay strong and know you'll make it. Obviously taking shots at Vito, perfectly fine. Little jabs here and there are fine. Which he has to say this. Yaira has 10,000 backers. Super Killer has 2,000 backers. And again, you had your campaign open for how long? A year and a half? About a year and a half? Yaira's been open for 2 months and has more backers than your book. Says a lot. Eric's the biggest thing in indie comics, well, at least he finally admits this, and this obese Italian deviant already has 1/5 of his dwindling readership. Nobody who bought Yaira is reading this trash, except maybe me. Not looking good. I guarantee Gooding will still have more backers than your trash Super Killer book. But of course, Mike S. Miller had to take a jab as well, saying, Yaira campaign has been open for a month. It's 2 months. Super Killer has been open for a year. I would say over a year. I wish Shadow of the Conqueror was open the whole time. We would have gone well over $1 million, which is the book that Mike S. Miller drew, and it was written by Shadiversity. I said exactly, the script for his book was hot garbage too, because I read the draft, of course, and it was trash. And he says, tell you what, Sturgis, you write your own comic script and we'll post them both of them side by side to compare it. Let's see who truly understands good writing. Clearly you don't understand good writing. Your writing is terrible. I'll say, tell you what, Vito, the P to D to D to O, how about you address people properly and lose some weight, and then maybe I'll give a crap. Maybe I'll actually care about writing a script for something I'm not interested in doing. I'm not the one that's writing the comic script, but it seems like you can't take criticism because I said your Super Killer book is trash. That ain't my problem. It sounds like a personal problem. Yet y'all want to sit up here and say, Eric July can't take criticism, but it really looks like you can't take criticism either. It seems like all these clowns that claim that Eric July can't take criticism are also the same clowns who cannot take criticism. To which he says, cope and seethe. The man knows he can barely read, let alone try to critique writing. Well, I critiqued your book, and I said it was trash. I did it live, too. I said, I don't need to do anything. I've read your script, and it's trash. Cry more while eating White Castle like the soy-fueled loser you are. I was reading at a 6th grade level in the 4th grade, you clown. Or in 4th grade, you clown. Says the guy who thinks July's writing is good. So here's me coping and seething apparently. We like jokes and you're a professional idiot with your dead channel gaining no subscriber growth. And I've had more views than you in the past 30 days. March was a terrible month for you apparently. You have no subscriber growth whatsoever. But somehow I'm the one that's coping and seething. Meanwhile, I'm sitting up here having constant subscriber growth, constant views. Of course, these months didn't show up. Even these days didn't show up, even though I did post videos on Monday, and I did get views on both those days, but it didn't show up. So, who's really the one coping and seething? The guy with the dead channel who's been doing YouTube longer than I have? Legitimately? But, of course, he also screenshots Doug TenNapel's tweet, the same exact tweet, because this man is so upset that Doug TenNapel told him that his book is terrible. He says, I remember playing Herform Gym as a 10-year-old boy and thinking, quote, I hope someday the creator of this character yells at me for not having as much money as a black libertarian warehouse owner. Dreams really do come true. Yet they want to sit up here and say that I talk about, the race of Eric July. To which I say, translation, somebody told the truth about my crappy comic book, so I'll screenshot them because I'm a pussy and couldn't just quote tweet them. Hashtag Superkiller's trash. Hashtag Superkiller's late. Hashtag win a Superkiller. And then, of course, he also screenshots this video of the Rippaverse expanding and getting better shipping rates for his international customers in Canada, UK, and Australia, and gets really mad about it and says, Eric has all these employees sitting around with nothing to do. Clearly, he can pay them, so he has them writing scripts and putting together motion graphics for useless videos on topics like Canadian shipping costs. Oh no, he's putting out a video showing how much he's saving the customer money in shipping costs. What a terrible individual Eric July must be. 1.1k views, a complete waste of time and money on the Rippaverse channel. Who cares? To which I put up the gift as he can't keep getting away with this. Classic. So which this individual says, again, like I say, says the guy who thinks Eric July's writing is good. And that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it, just like you're allowed to say it's not good. That's perfectly fine. And you say, you have no taste in the IQ of a barnacle, so people should take your criticism with a barrel of salt. That's a good description of you. Perfect. Individual who's a clown, who didn't understand what my original post was at all. I said the original post you were responding to was about a morbidly obese individual who claimed I can't read because I said Superkiller's trash. This was simply showing said individual can't take criticism. I responded by saying I have read and still read well above a normal individual's reading ability. You respond with, says the guy who believes Eric's writing for ISOM is good. Therefore, you completely look like a dumbass and by making a moot point and getting butthurt afterwards. How about you stop getting butthurt over me specifying facts to you? This person who admitted on social media of all places for everyone to see, and he only has 6th grade reading ability. You have 1st grade writing ability. One can only assume also writing by reading his post. My post had perfect grammar, perfect spelling. Somehow I have a 6th grade writing and reading ability while my post had perfect grammar and perfect spelling. Okay. Self-owned and doesn't realize it, not the brightest bulb. And again, he probably doesn't even know his bulb is on. The only person that self-owned themselves was you, with this terrible grammar. I said, your grammar is atrocious and clearly your reading ability isn't above that of a 1st grader. Vito claimed I couldn't read and I stated I was reading at a 6th grade level in the 4th grade. Why are my haters so retarded and willingly obtuse? Also, who is Sturgis, you bundle of sticks? Where's the self-own? The only self-own I see is you having terrible grammar and terrible reading comprehension. How many times were you dropped on your head as a child? Talk about you're a secular proud father. I don't think anybody should be proud of your terrible grammar. But that's just me. This person said this because I was talking about this individual. Well, an individual that was saying some stuff to Hypnotic. Of course, I said anyone who simps as hard as this guy does for this should always be laughed at. Simping for this person. The only thing I quote-unquote simp for, I said you still have time to delete this, which he did. I understand your projection, but I live a great life, dummy. I don't have thoughts like this. You need to get some serious help for that. He did delete the post, of course. But I already screenshotted it, so it's too late. But of course, Buster Baxter himself has to get in on this because he's so butthurt that I called out all his BS lies since the beginning of ISOM 1 when that launched. This clown wanted to sit up here and talk about how putting your hand on someone's shoulder is akin to harming someone. You know, Isom putting his hand on Jasmine's shoulder was akin to harming someone. But this is the individual who said some dumb crap like that and couldn't finish a 500-piece puzzle in under an hour. Took him over an hour with 2 people to finish a 500-piece puzzle in a competition where you win money. And I said, you're not a serious person. It actually amazes me that you say this willingly obtuse nonsense, considering you couldn't even understand ISOM number 1 and thought Avery putting his hand on Jasmine's shoulder was akin to assault. You have 30.7k followers and got 170 likes. You are an irrelevant individual. White Castle is cool. Who cries while eating White Castle? You do. You're literally on video, whining and crying about it. Super Killer still trash. Cope and seethe. And then I said, my haters really are the most retarded individuals on the planet, and I prove this more and more every single time they try insulting my intelligence on this app. It's absolutely amazing how nonsensical these individuals are on this app that want to sit up here and try to insult my intelligence while being stupid. And I just go to show and prove this every single day, how absolutely dumb they are. And I'll continue to laugh at them and continue to make money off them and continue to monetize their stupidity. And they're going to keep getting mad and crying about it. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button. Comment below if you feel about all this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.